Welcome to the Plant Power Half Hour, where we discuss herbs, oils, foods, supplements, and holistic living. Hello, everybody. I'm Lisa Mosbey, and I'm here with my good friend Paula Johnson. My background is in holistic health as a health practitioner, and I also work as a digital advisor to people who are wellness business owners. And Paula is an integrative health and nutrition coach, but she is also doing something extraordinary. She decided, I've been doing this long enough. I'm going to go get board certified. So everybody, if you're a prayer person or just sending her good thoughts, she's coming up on the big final test. And I'm so excited for her and seeing all the things that she's going to be doing and serving the world, as in her own business, but also in the health and wellness field, serving through supporting doctors and people out there who maybe don't have training in this area. So I am so proud and excited of my friend Paula. So I
Thank
just wanted to
you.
share that and put that out to everybody.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Yeah, so fun. Such a big shift. And, along that line, one piece of that is essential oils and herbs and things that we've been talking about for years. And we still keep learning more. We still keep revisiting more topics on it. And so I'm excited today to dive into some of the flowers. With spring
Yeah.
coming, we're getting into the flowers of spring, but like all the amazing benefits they have today, too.
Yeah. Whether folks are looking to boost their immune system, alleviate stress, improve your mood, connect closer to God, we have it all in these episodes this month because we are going through the plants of a book called It All Began in the Garden. And it's Paula's choosing the plants every week. And like she mentioned, this week we're doing flowers. And I happen to notice there's maybe an aphrodisiac theme to these flowers. I'm looking at them going, these guys are all from my class on aphrodisiacs. This is interesting. What are we talking about here today, Paula? Where are we going with this? And what plant are we starting with first?
Yeah, isn't it interesting? We're going to be talking about four of them: geranium, ylang, jasmine, and rose. And of course, they're all beautiful flowers. Of course, these are ones that are often gifted to women, whether it's a Mother's Day bouquet, whether it's a plant for their garden, or whether it's a vase of flowers. These are often gifted, but yes, they have a deep connection
Mm-hmm.
to um, aphrodisiacs. So opening up the possibility for romance because they reduce stress. They help calm the body. When you can calm the body, all kinds of other things can open up and happen along that path too. Um, so think about perfumes. When you smell perfumes,
Yeah.
sometimes they are filled with floral fragrances, and
And
certain florals have that difference. Now, the difference between perfumes and essential oils, perfumes can be offensive because our bodies are know to reject it when it's a chemical creation. When it's an essential oil, we know how to use that, how our body knows how to metabolize it. Now, there may be some oils like geranium that you might be like, I
oh,
still don't like that, Paula. It's not my favorite. And oftentimes, when we have that reaction to an essential oil, it's because on an emotional level, we actually need it. Our body doesn't recognize it because we've been so lacking of support in that area. So, yeah, geranium is not my first choice by
can I tell a
itself,
story?
but I know I need it. So I can just at least carry the bottle around in my pocket because the frequency of the oil will help uplift it. Or if I'm throwing it in my diffuser, I'm going to put a lot of orange with it because orange just softens everything else. But then I'm still going to get the benefits of it, right? You have a
Right.
story,
I have
geranium?
a story. Yeah, I do have a story. I make my own soaps and stuff. I've talked about the ebook. I have a free ebook for people who want those healthy cleaning things. And I'm making my own laundry soap, and I made a powdered laundry soap this time just to try it out. Normally I always did liquids in a big 5-gallon jug and then you have to store it. And I thought, oh, geranium, I'm gonna put that in. It smells great. Now this was quite a few years ago, back when I was married. And I didn't know the exact amount of drops to put in it. So my husband had quite floral clothing to wear for several weeks because I mean, I made a pretty big size of it. I was like, well, I'm not going to throw it out until I can find somebody else who will take this off my hands. We're washing the clothes in this. And so, but I tried to use it for the bedding and the pillows and my clothes and like try to wash his separately after the first few loads. I had no idea how much it would infuse. And I swear I only used 5 or 6 drops, but ooh, it's some strong oil, I'm telling you. It's wonderful, like for bedding. People love sleeping in the guest room with that scent. Between that and lavender, I do lavender more because like everybody says, I never sleep better than at your house. Like I always
Mhm.
have the best night's sleep at your house. Like, wonder why.
Mhm.
But that's my geranium story, and I'm sticking to it.
That's awesome. Yeah, a little bit goes a long way. You know, the saying less is more definitely applies, especially when you're using quality, concentrated essential oils like Young Living. It is all essential oil in the bottle. It's not been diluted. So, yeah, a drop will do you a lot of times. Um, Geranium, though, can be used in so many ways. There's a lot of DIY face washes. There's a lot of opportunities to put it into a moisturizing lotion. It is amazing for skin. It really supports the skin in so many ways, but it's also really mood boosting for all. So not only is it going to support your skin to put it on, it's going to boost your mood. It's going to just help lower that stress level and just help you feel great and do beautiful things for your skin in the meantime. So I count that as a win-win, but
Yeah.
maybe warming up to the scent might take a little bit. Other people will love it instantly. So um, give it a try. See how you feel with it. If it's not your jam, I would move right on to ylang ylang. Ylang ylang, I love ylang ylang. It also is floral, but I feel like it's a little softer. Um, it's a it's a little more gentle on the nose compared to geranium seems to be a little bit sharper. So that softer scent I love so much. This one definitely has the traditions as a natural aphrodisiac. It was traditionally putting ylang ylang petals on the beds of newlyweds. So for their wedding night. So of course, inspiring romance, inspiring fertility, inspiring that connection all goes along with ylang ylang.
I love the story that she tells in the book. She says, normally my husband fills the diffuser and we have like, relaxing, sleeping lavender. But when I walk in the bedroom and I smell a lang langs in the diffuser, I know it's not sleep time. I think that, like, I'm paraphrasing, but that was the essence of what she had shared in the book. And I thought, that is so true. I used to wear ylang lang as perfume straight up, and people just like love the fragrance of it. And I kind of got sick of it. Like it was so sweet. So like maybe I was done with it, or like you said, sometimes when you don't like the fragrance of something, it's something that you need. Uh, and so that could have been true. I didn't think of it at the time, but now I'm thinking back, maybe that was a challenging time. I was going through some emotional stuff, and the last thing I wanted to be was happy and joyful. I wanted to experience and feel the feels, and I kind of stopped wearing it. But yeah, I have a perfume bottle right here over my shoulder, and I think that perfume bottle is like 40 years old. I love it, and it's made with jasmine, rose, and it has ylang ylang in it. So it's so
Mm-hmm.
funny that you pick those oils because that I've worn that. I used to wear that, and then I started making my own just with the drops and using a little bit of witch hazel or vodka or something in it. And but I kept the bottle and I just reused the bottle, but it's the essential oils are in there now. So
Yeah.
that's ylang ylang. And then doesn't it have to be harvested at peak, like at 2 in the morning? I remember Gary Young talking about how they watch the flowers, watch the flowers, watch the flowers, and then it's like we only harvest them at peak time because we want the absolute best oil in our bottles.
Yeah, it has to be hand picked
Yeah.
and at night or early
Okay.
morning hours.
Okay.
So, yeah, there's definitely on our farms. Young Living has great farms in Ecuador where most of the ylang ylang is grown, and it is hand picked by delicate hands and gathered in large baskets. So, I know many people that have gone to the farm and experienced part of that harvest and been part of that, and they were just in love with the farm from that moment on. So yeah, great experience. Ylang ylang is spelled Ylang, but you use the Y as a long E. So you just pronounce it ylang ylang. So if that helps pronounce it when you see it in writing. Okay, let's move on to jasmine. Jasmine is also picked in the dark hours of the night. It's also very delicate. And this one can't even be steam distilled. It's actually done as an absolute or an essence rather than the true form of an essential oil. So this one can also be very floral, very intense. I was making perfumes for Christmas one year, and I had just bought a new bottle of jasmine, and all of our bottles have this little reducer cap on it, but mine was stuck inside the cover. So I took off the lid thinking I was just going to pour a drop or two, and I poured like half the bottle onto my table. Luckily, I had my table covered in paper towels, so it did soak up the oil quite a bit, but it was super strong. So that paper towel, I could not throw it away. I moved it into my closet, into my dresser drawers, just to soak up that scent into the air and just let it dissipate from there. But
Nice.
yeah, jasmine is not cheap because it is so highly concentrated. It takes 10
10 pounds.
pounds
Yeah.
of petals to make one little 5 milliliter bottle. So those were expensive paper towels for quite some time. But it is super calming. It really is effective for sleep, helping people transition, get better sleep, especially those that are challenged with sleep. This is a good way to utilize it and make it a true game changer in their lifestyle. It also helps promote feelings of confidence. So, again, where the aphrodisiac values of it come in is sometimes having a little more confidence in the bedroom can also be supportive for romantic evenings as well. Experience with jasmine other than in your perfume, Lisa?
Yeah, I grew it when I lived in Nevada. I had a huge, and it's actually a vine. It grows as a vine there. And so I had this I don't know what you call it, like an arch kind of thing. And I would take it and I wrapped it around it and wrapped it around it. And it became, you couldn't put your arms around it. It became such a big bush. And my
Mm.
favorite place when it was in bloom was to sit in the chair right next to it. And I had rocking patio chairs. And as you'd rock it, it kind of like yeah, yeah, exactly. And it would kind of, the rocking chair would like waft, enough breeze. So then you're enveloped in this smell of
Ooh.
jasmine. It's absolutely my favorite essential oil. Probably I wore that for perfume all through high school and, in my early 20s. Probably would have attracted my husband. Who knows? I didn't even think about that. And then I switched to Lang Lang after I was married. So, ladies, I don't know if you're looking for a fragrance or a scent to wear, but those two both worked really well for me over the years. Yeah, I love it. And it's my go-to to lift my spirit. Exactly what you said. When I smell that, I am in an instant state of bliss, even more than the geranium or the ylang ylang, because the jasmine is, like you said, subtler. It's just this delicate essence, and it's like it has this calming presence, this calming feeling. I think a calming spirit kind of comes over me and just like lets me to be fully present
Mm.
and at peace. And then you have that joyful smell. It's my favorite scent. One of the first one after Valor. It was one of the first 10 that I bought. And it's not a cheap oil. It's an expensive oil, but it was like I had to have it because I was so used to the adulterated sense of jasmine. When I smelled that the first time at an essential oil class, I was like, yeah, throw out the grocery bill and buy the jasmine. I need it. Yeah.
Awesome. I love that. Well, right along with our floral theme is also rose.
Mhm.
And rose is another one that it's an investment to grab a bottle. But again, you only need a drop of this to make a significant difference in your life. Our bodies all have a frequency. Plants have a frequency, our bodies have a frequency. And when we take our bodies and we add essential oils and we add prayer to it, we're just raising our frequency up. So feeling better, feeling more energized, feeling more connected to the earth and to God is such a great combination. And rose can instantly do that with just a tiny little drop. This is one I definitely like to dilute so that I can make it into a roller or into a perfume spray to make it last a little bit longer. You were talking about perfume sprays, Lisa, and any essential oil can really be made into a room spray or a perfume spray just by putting a few drops of the essential oil in the bottle. And then some people like to fill it just with witch hazel or witch hazel and water. Or if you use vodka, it's going to hang in the air longer. So it's not going to dissipate as quickly or onto your skin as well. It's going to last a little bit longer. It will have a little slightly different scent when you use witch hazel versus vodka. It really doesn't have a scent for a quality vodka. Do you know how many rose petals it takes to make a 5 milliliter bottle?
50 pounds, I think.
22 pounds of
Oh, 20
rose
pounds.
petals.
Okay. So it's double the over
Yeah,
double
a
projection.
lot of rose petals. So rose, again, is amazing for the skin. It's used in a lot of skin products. It has a big difference, but super helpful for aging or creating that beautiful perfume scent. Now, rose often reminds us of people, and you mentioned how jasmine reminds you of your vines that you had at a former house. All essential oils, when we smell them, immediately triggers the amygdala and our memory and our limbic system because they're all tied together. So oftentimes we just feel yay or nay as soon as we smell a scent. And we might not always recognize why or instantly bring back that memory. But if you can associate, like, why do I love the scent of this? Or why don't I like the scent of that? Maybe you can figure out what that memory is to bring it back into make it more into your awareness to see, because they're all so tied together. But we instantly feel either that positive or negative reaction based on that memory, whether we recognize the memory or not. So it's fascinating how scent, our nose, can be tied into our brain and our memories all at the same time. God has really made our bodies to be so mysterious in many different ways. He's got a plan for it, but sometimes it's just hard to figure out what it is.
Yeah, our scent is our strong sense of smell is our strongest scent, they say, because it goes directly to the brain where other senses are filtered through to the brain before they get there. So I'm wearing two rose products today. I wear a rose toner and the other one, I grabbed this off the counter because I've been using this. I have some stitches because I had some of the big C removed. And I use this to keep those stitches supple and moist because it makes it easier for them to pull them out or to clip them and pull them out. You don't want your stitches to actually dry out. And so in lieu of, I don't use petroleum products. So I don't use Vaseline or petroleum-based products. And so you want healing to occur. And I don't want to put those chemicals or toxins into my system. And so this is my go-to for skin-related boo-boos and ouchies and things of that nature because of what I'm getting. I'm not only getting the healing and maybe hopefully reduce scar reduction. I can't say for sure on that, but also just how it keeps the skin supple so that it's able to heal and not get infected.
Yeah,
So,
I love that ointment. It's
yeah,
so thick and has such great healing properties for heels and elbows and
yeah.
patches and all the stuff. So thank you for bringing that up. That's a great
Hmm.
easy way. And that one's a little more affordable to grab because it is
Yeah, already made.
diluted concentrate from that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rose. I
Well,
used to grow roses, again in Nevada because everything grew in Nevada. You had 360 days of sunshine. And one of the things, and I didn't use any chemicals, so I actually talked to my neighbors to find out what they put on their ground because if they're putting it on the ground, I didn't want it into my roses. And they grew the neighbors directly behind me. They had fruit trees. I had fruit trees, and so we were mostly organic. And I would harvest the rose petals and steam distill them myself just on the stove. Take a pan, upside down glass of a glass bowl in there, and then set another bowl upside right. And I'd put the rose petals all around it, fill it with water, and then put the cover on top of it with some ice cubes. And when you turn it on, the water would start to heat up, and all that water, it would release steam that would touch the top of the cover that was inverted and drip down into the bowl. And so I created my own hydrosols for my face. A toner is just, it has some alcohol or vodka in it. So I would create my own base with using the roses from my own backyard. And it's so easy because roses are expensive. Like you said, a lot of these products that contain roses, because they're so expensive, they can be adulterated and contain lots of chemicals. And so it's easy to formulate our own stuff with what we have available. But roses are very susceptible to pesticides, lots of different things will attack them and chemicals, chemical sprays and things. So don't use the ones in the store. Like if somebody gives you a bundle of roses, don't use those because more than likely they're not grown organically. So you can
mhm.
only do this with things that are grown organically, or you can even harvest roses in the wild. I harvest the rose hips in the wild, especially in Minnesota, Wisconsin, the Midwest. They're just prolific in the fall time. And then a lot of those places where the wild prairie gardens have been grown, they have the wild roses and they don't spray them. They don't put chemicals down in those native areas. The idea is to let nature do its business and let the insects come in. So that's another place that I began harvesting them after I moved out of that Nevada house. I would harvest both roses and I hung them up in, have you ever seen those mesh bags that you put your bras or your panties or things in so that they don't get damaged? I had those and I would take those with me and I would put all the rose petals in them and zip it shut. And then I hang it in my kitchen from the pot rack. And just kind of every once in a while I'd walk by and I'd give it a little whack to kind of shake them around. And they would eventually dehydrate and dry right there in the air. And, flip them around. I'd dump them out sometimes, put them on a screen if they had any moisture left. And then eventually when they were completely dry, you don't want any moisture at all in them or they will get mildewy, moldy. Then I would put them in glass jars and save them. So whenever I needed to make stuff, I had them.
Oh, so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
You're
If you're
taking me
not a
back to
DIY,
memory lane. Like as soon as we start talking about this, I was like, oh, here's how you, I love that. I get to sit on this side. You get to do the nerdy part, and I get to sit on this side and just tell my stories.
yeah. Well, if you're not a DIYer, Young Living's got it covered. You can just utilize their products very simply and easily. If you like to DIY, we have lots of great recipes and ideas on how to do that as well. So you can reach out, Lisa, on your website. What's that address again that they can
It's called
download?
the Plant Power Half Hour .now.site, and I have both compiled all of stuff that Paula has shared, stuff that I've shared. We have recipes between lotions and perfumes and all kinds of different things that you can make yourself. And not all of them are just from the raw plant. It's like, how do you use these essential oils? You have these concentrated little bottles of things. How can we eliminate everything that's under the kitchen counter and underneath the bathroom counter with just a few drops of these and some things that you can find in your kitchen? That's kind of what we're trying to show you and the recipes that we're trying to provide for you. And then there's some essential oil courses on there as well. So we have an essential oil 101 that if you just get started with 5 or 6 bottles of oil, what can you do with those? And we walk you through some of that. And then our intimacy course, I believe, is still up from February. We left that on there for folks that want to increase, improve, or just explore, better intimacy in the bedroom. What kind of essential oils could you use for that? So there's a couple of courses that are listed there. Just name an email and those will show up in your email box. So we have lots of information available. We're here to serve. If there's something that you need to know and we haven't covered it, or you can't find it on that website, just direct message us. We'll be happy to share with you whatever we have available on the subject, or direct you to the resources that we're confident in using.
Awesome. We'll see you next time for some herby type oils. We're going to go through the chapters on rosemary, sage, thyme, and oregano.
Ooh, we're in the kitchen next week. Hey, everybody, thanks for tuning in to the Plant Power Half Hour to discover nature's bounty and live a happier, healthier, and more vibrant life. Come on back. We'll see you next week.